All right, so voices are rising in three major cities today. Operation Ubuntu is leading marches in Johannesburg, Cape Town and Durban, with organizations calling for an end to violence on migrants and stronger protection for vulnerable communities across the continent. SABC News reporter Botlhale Phele is following developments and joins us now. Botlhale, thanks indeed for your time. I do understand that you are either at the Johannesburg or the Pretoria leg of the march. Talk to us a bit about what is expected today. I do not see much of what is expected in terms of the protesters behind you, but I do see you're standing by with police.
Good morning, Criselda. Yes, today we're here at Beyers Naudé Square in Johannesburg for what is being called Operation Ubuntu. And this comes as a day of coordinated action, not only in Johannesburg, but in Cape Town and Durban. And this comes after weeks of renewed tensions around migration in South Africa, following the anti-immigration protests and the demonstrations on June 30th, which reignited debate around undocumented migration, crime and access to public services and the country's immigration policy. So today's march is actually organized by 60 civic societies, and one of them that we're going to be speaking to now is Gauteng Provincial Commissioner Tommy Mtomeni. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. Welcome to SABC.
Good morning, greetings to everyone at home. We really appreciate for this opportunity. Yes, of course, we got an indication across the country. Gauteng is one of the provinces which Operation Ubuntu, there will be marching. And of course, when I spoke to the National Commissioner as well as the Deputy National Commissioner responsible for policing, the message I got is that there will be also in Durban and Cape Town. But on the main, what is the purpose for the march is for them to indicate, and for us is to ensure that we are policing the march.
Commissioner, I know that the continent as a whole has been sort of condemning South Africa and what's been happening in the weeks of tension. I wanted to take from you, what is your statement about how the police has been patrolling and controlling peace during this tense time?
I would say we have been doing well. Why do I say well? Because this is a collaboration between the community and the law enforcement agency. We know for the fact that constitutionally people are allowed to can march peacefully so. And in terms of that Constitution's Section 17, which of course is linked with the Bill of Rights, Chapter 2. And hence for us is to ensure that we ensure that the marches has to be peaceful, where there is people who are committing the crime we have been seeing of acting precisely. For example, I think last week in the Springs, we had unruly marchers of which we acted, and we were in a position to can arrest not less than 16. But the other issue is that as and when there are marching, you have to look on the situational appropriateness. Why do I say that? For example, on the 30th of June, we had quite a number of marches, of which the one which was around your Hillbrow, Johannesburg, we had approximately 15,000. So you will have to be cautious. And we are glad that we did not have, casualties for people who participated. And for that reason, you'll find us here today in ensuring that this march has to be peaceful.
Thank you. My final question is, I know that your overall hope for today is that you keep this march peaceful, but as police, what other outcomes are you joining this march today, Operation Ubuntu? What other outcomes as law enforcement and police would you like to see happen? I know a memorandum is going to be handed over a bit later, and so will a candlelight vigil. Will you be attending that, and what do you hope that all of those events put together will bring about?
Yeah, well, we must take note that we are not the participants. No? we are not the participants. We are, of course, the law enforcement agency, and what is contained in the memorandum will have to work closely with the leaders and make sure that whatever it is raised, we have to look, as to say, on the side of policing. What is that? What they are concerned of? Because it looks like the issues is different issues when I've looked into the document which I'm having. But of course, if there is a concern relating to migration, we are, I'll say, hands-on in terms of implementing that. The province, we are week in, week out in a position to deal with migration. The arrest thereof is not less than 800 or between 800 and 1,200 per week, of which this arrest is a collaboration between the South African Police Service, other law enforcement agency, Department of Home Affairs, Border Management Authority. So I know for the fact that with that we are dealing with that, but it's week in, week out. You'll ask to say, why is it so consistently? It's because of the porous borders.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us.
Thank you.
That was Gauteng Commissioner Tommy Mtombeni. He was just letting us know that the police's presence here is not that of participation, but one of legal regulation. They will be making sure that this protest remains peaceful. They also want to make sure that the law's standing on migration as a whole is one of peace. They are making sure that all those who are participating in violent acts are apprehended and are following up on what is happening in this matter on a weekly basis, making sure that migration is handled in the way that the AU says it should be, according to legal international human law and the Constitution of South Africa. What we're expecting to see a little later is a sea of people in red, as that is the color they have chosen to wear, in a matter of unity. And we will also be expecting to speak to a number of other organizers and participants. That's all we have for you now. Thank you, Griselda. Back to studio.
All right, Botlhale, thank you very much indeed. We'll try to come back to you once we see some of the crowd at least gathering behind you or marching through to their destination. Thanks indeed.